Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm excited to bring you the best Black Ops 6 KRIG-C nuke class setup. That's right, I'm going to be talking about this Black Ops 6 KRIG-C class setup that I'm using on screen. You're going to be seeing a nuke today. I will, of course, be sharing the class setup at the end of today's video. I'm also going to be discussing throughout the gameplay kind of what goes into getting a nuke, what goes into getting a nuke in TDM, and just discussing many different things you can do in order to get a nuke in Black Ops 6 whilst using this KRIG-C class setup that is designed to help you get nukes here in Black Ops 6. And again, class up at the end of the video. If you want to go to that, feel free. But I'm going to talk about like what goes into getting a nuke. So as you're going to see, this is after patch. This is with the brand new update where the recoil on weapons seems to be reduced. Now, I say recoil's been reduced. The actual recoil has not been reduced. It's just the visual recoil. And the KRIG-C has massively benefited from this. Like the recoil on this thing is so non-existent. So you need to be using the KRIG-C. Again, class up at the end of the video so you guys can note down all the attachments and the exact setup I have. But I will talk about the setup that I do have, such as the blast traps, the perk setup, stuff like that. And then, of course, at the end of the video, you'll be able to see the class setup and exactly what I'm using on this class setup, because this KRIG-C is insane. Probably the best gun in the game right now. You know, it might need a nerf, it might not. I'm not too sure. The Sorg seems pretty strong as too, but we're talking about the KRIG-C. So let's get into it. We'll start talking about, first of all, the game mode I'm playing. As you're going to be seeing, I am playing Team Deathmatch. Now, I kind of might do a series in this. I might go through each game mode that's quite good to get, like, nukes in. If you guys want to see that, let me know down below. I'll happily do a video discussing how to get a nuke in sort of almost every game mode. I don't think I'll cover every game mode because some game modes aren't worth it, but I'll talk about TDM. So TDM, why would you go and try and get a nuke in TDM? TDM is going to be your easiest bet to getting a nuke in, regardless of whether you do things to mess with matchmaking, etc. TDM has typically always had the worst player in it, right? The worst players play TDM. It's just simply how it's always been in Call of Duty. So TDM is a pretty good mode for this. The only issue you have with TDM, you pretty much have to rush for the kills. You can't really play too slow paced in TDM, even with the 100 kill like time, win limit sort of thing. Because, of course, it's 6v6, and I know most game modes are 6v6. The only ones that aren't are, like, free-for-all and obviously, like, 10v10 playlists and stuff. But in a 6v6 game mode where it's only 100 kills, you're going to have to hope that your team's kind of bad, or at least not very fast. You know, they can be good, but they play at a slower pace, and you have to hope that the enemy team's quite bad. So you're kind of hoping for two things to kind of go in your favor when it comes to playing to TDM and getting a nuke. But nonetheless, I would argue TDM is going to be the best starter for trying to get a nuke. I think it's the easiest, but you do have to play quite fast pace. So you won't be able to play at sort of your own pace. If you're someone who's quite slow and methodical, you do have to play at a slightly faster pace than you probably normally would, just because, again, it's TDM. There isn't too much of a, like, there's not as many kills to get, etc. There's not as much time either. Like, TDM games typically last about 6 minutes, which I'm pretty sure is how long this gameplay lasts. And yeah, you're seeing I'm pretty much just playing off of the spawns, playing off of where my team is spawning on purpose, not going there, and just controlling the map, just playing to control the map. That's simply how TDM is. Just stick with your teammates, don't venture too far forward. And obviously you're going to see as well, this is a bit of a bot lobby, which we'll discuss right now. Again, I mention this every time and I talk about the method. No, I don't VPN. No, I don't 2-box. I'm pretty sure 2-boxing is actually even patch. So if you want to know what I actually do in order to get easy lobbies, and it wasn't intentional, but I have found this is the case, and it might work for PlayStation as well, but I'm not sure. But I turn off crossplay. That is simply all I do. I am on Xbox. I play on an Xbox Series X. And I turn off crossplay. And the way I do this is simply I go into my Xbox settings and turn off crossplay that way, because you can't turn off crossplay on the actual game itself for Xbox. You can on PlayStation, I believe, but on Xbox you cannot turn off crossplay whatsoever. I do have a video about this. If you want to see that, I'll probably leave it in the comments down below so you guys can check that out. But yes, you can turn off crossplay on Xbox, but it's not as straightforward as every other like PlayStation, where you can just turn it off in the game. On Xbox, you have to go to your Xbox settings to turn off crossplay. And this does lead to easier lobbies, because I'm limiting the match pool, I'm limiting who I'm going up against and stuff, and as you can see, we've already earned the nuke. Now, I didn't exactly use the entire KRIG-C flex, I did run out of bullets a little bit, but mainly use the KRIG-C, and the KRIG-C is definitely beneficial and was the main provider of getting this nuke in this gameplay. But yeah, to get a bot lobby, again, turn crossplay off. That's my best bet, right? That's the best tip I can share with you guys. It does give you lobbies. Not guaranteed, but it does give you a higher chance of getting an easier lobby to play in TDM. On top of that, your kill streaks and stuff matter. You can use UAV harp like I am, and the Overwatch helo. I like this setup just because the helo doesn't get too many kills, but it does like distract the enemy team a little bit. That's kind of why I like using it. And the UAV and the harp are just great for, you know, being able to see where people are spawning and stuff, which is very, very useful information. And I can't see why you wouldn't be trying to get a nuke without that sort of setup. So definitely make sure you're using the UAV and the harp. And then we'll talk about the actual like setup, like outside of the weapon and what the attachments are. But using a concussion, I am using a concussion in this gameplay, but I would recommend stim shots over everything. I wouldn't really use concussions, but if you don't have the stim shot unlocked, definitely use a concussion. Next up, the lethal is blast traps. I say it every time. These are the best piece of equipment in the game. You have to be using the blast trap. Every other piece of equipment like frags and semtexes don't compare to the easiness of getting a kill with the blast trap. Now, yes, there's a perk that actually does deflect this, and we'll talk about it in a second, because I do actually have that perk on. I wasn't intentionally trying to use that perk, but I've started to like lean towards more this perk just because it's quite useful for not getting killed by random blast traps and stuff. So I would recommend using blast traps as your lethal. Field upgrade, make sure you're using assault pack, because it's basically your scavenger pack. You want to be having that so you never run out of ammo. Flat jacket to make sure you're not dying to nades. Shadow, so you're not dying to trip mines and random blast traps. And then quartermaster, so you can replenish your own blast traps. But that's the setup. That's the nuke. Unbelievable. Yet again, KRIG nuke class setup coming for you guys right now. And yeah, I'm going to cut to that now. I'm going to cut to that nuke KRIG class setup for you guys. Right, and hello to those of you who did make it to the end of today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you, of course, that Black Ops 6 KRIG nuke class setup here on your screen. And this class setup is unbelievable, okay? The KRIG is pretty dominant in itself, but if you run it like this, honestly, it's actually insane. So the Kepler Micro Reflex, I personally go with. You can change this if you personally prefer prefer a better sight, sorry. Any sight will do, as long as it's a reasonably good sight. I just recommend any sort of red dot. Compensator, definitely go with the compensator. I was running ported compensator. It's not actually a bad option, but I do think the compensator is just a little bit better. The gain twist barrel, I don't think there's any like sort of reason to use the other barrel, the reinforced barrel. It does improve the damage range a little bit, but the part where it improves the damage range is to a point where you're not really going to be taking gunfights at that distance anyway. So I'd rather just have the bullet velocity so that my bullets register a lot quicker, and it's almost like hit scan basically at all ranges. Vertical foregrip for that horizontal recoil, because obviously horizontal recoil is quite hard to control, and you definitely want to be reducing that as much as possible. Magazine, go with extended mag 1, just because you don't want extended mag 2 because it takes down your aim down sight stuff. Yes, you have more magazine size and stuff. Flip mag is okay, but I mean, it does take the mag size down by 5, and realistically, I'd rather have a 30 mag size, so I'd rather just run no mag at all. But extended mag, just because you get a little bit more in the mag, can go for those like triples and quads that you might need in certain situations. Then you go with the ergonomic grip, because you want your slide to fire speed, your dive to fire speed, and your aim down sight speed. You don't really need sprint to fire speed, because it is an assault rifle. You're probably going to be posted up most of the time and already aiming down sight anyway. So I definitely go with this, but you can use this one as well if you prefer the sprint to fire. But personally, I'd go with the aim down sight speed instead. And then finally, the stock. This is where I think I throw a lot of people off, because I think a lot of people in this game pick balanced stock because it's the best of everything. You get all of these. No. Go for infiltrator stock. Unfortunately, I think they've removed the stats tab, because I can't actually build up the stats, but this improves your aim walking movement speed like the most. Like, this improves the aim walking movement speed massively, and the strafe speed with this is so ridiculous that people genuinely cannot track you with, like, even with aim assist. Like, with the aim assist being so strong in this game, it throws people's aim assist off. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I cannot believe people are not using this attachment more than on more assault rifles than they should be. But put this on the KRIG and thank me later. Trust me, this is absolutely crucial to the class. I know it sounds crazy because it doesn't do any damage or that, but the strafe speed with this weapon is unbelievable, and you will genuinely start dodging people's bullets left, right, and center with this attachment. So definitely use the infiltrator stock. And then finally, I went with recoil springs. We've already done up the bullet velocity, so I don't think we need any more there. You can try rapid fire if you want, but I personally think it's just too much recoil for this weapon. But recoil springs, just to get that recoil nice and low, make it nice and accurate, and just be absolutely insane, and just beam people from any distance. And again, this is kind of the class that I've already explained, like the usage of the concussion, blast trap, assault pack, flat jacket, shadow, and quartermaster. Again, anything that's strategic is pretty much the best, but I go with the setup of flat jacket, shadow, and quartermaster. And your assault pack, obviously, to get more ammo, blast traps to get you those freebie kills, and then concussions are okay, but realistically, I'd go with stim shots, which I'm actually going to change to now that I actually have them unlocked. But that is it. That is the KRIG nuke class setup for Black Ops 6, and also discussing the method of how to get a nuke in Team Deathmatch. Any questions about today's video when it comes to getting a nuke in Black Ops 6, leave them down below. I'll try and answer them as best as I possibly can. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.